up. Okay. All right. Okay, it looks like we're on, and let's see here. Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. We are just waiting for others to come in. Someone with Anon. Hi, Anon. Hi. It's hard because you don't
know who you are.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to know their name. They have the handles, and so we'll just have to kind of look through that. So we've got Emerald Empress, Cassidy, Soluna. Hi, thank you for joining. Tristan, hey, how's it going? Oh my gosh. I was thinking about you the other day. I hope you're doing good. Right, perfect. So let's see here. All right. Well, Amy, thank you so much for joining. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to have you on. And I'm going to try my best to, like when you and I get together, we just sort of like, we could just talk forever. It's like, I feel bad for our husbands when we have dinner sometimes. They're like, and we're just like, rah, 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 rah. So it's kind of going to be kind of like one of those situations. Like I am going to make sure to look at the comments, but I also want to be here with you as well. So I will be checking in, and so just bear with me as I kind of maneuver all of this.
Sure, yeah, that's a lot to juggle. It's really cool. You can do that.
Yeah, it is. We'll see. I don't know. So let's see here. All right. Oh, Winnie, perfect. So Luna, okay, perfect. Thanks for joining. I'm just gonna couple moments here and just see who else.
Oh, Michael Christopher is here. Hello. He's
What's that?
Michael.
Oh, is he? Okay. Oh, perfect. Yay. Hello.
Yay.
So awesome. Yay. I'm so excited. All right, perfect. Well, so again, Amy, I wanted to tell people, or just kind of let them know a little bit about your background, because I'm so fascinated by you. I don't know what it is. I mean, I guess it's because it's you, but I am like, I'm obsessed. It's like, you're just, your background, I'm not going to give it away, but if you want to kind of talk a little bit about your background and how you got to where you're at. A lot of people, one of the things that I feel like there's the awakening that's occurring, right, with a lot of people, and things that we've done in the past, we may not be doing going forward. It's going to look very different for us. Absolutely. And you're a perfect example of what that looks like. Like when it's like, I tell people all about you all the time, and I'm like, I'm just so in awe of you and what you've done. And so, so tell us a little bit about that. And before you do that, I just a disclaimer for everyone, and I've already told Amy this. Last week, Spirit was telling me, just show up, do whatever you can do to show up, and because it's the only thing I feel like I can do. And I didn't realize that there's a little bit of, let me just say it this way without causing any AI bots to to take us down. We have to be a little selective with our word choice. So we're going to keep it light and have fun, but just know that, yeah, we have to, there is a little bit of that going on. So just read between the lines on that. So anyways, so Amy, yay, tell us about you and let everyone know how amazing you are. And if you don't add in, like if you don't go over and above, then I'm going to add to it. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, thank you so much for having me. I'm really humbled. And I'm as equally in awe of you as you are of me. So I think that's, I find that, many mediums and psychics I'm just mesmerized by, because, what we do is magical. It's not magic, but it's magical. And it's not easy. It's probably the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. But for some reason, when you're called to serve, you show up. And you don't have a choice, really. And you could put it off. You certainly can, but it's going to come back. Or if you don't show up and meet it, I feel like your life isn't you're just gonna hit blocks. I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for 30 years. And I was kind of at the tail end of my career. I was getting a little burnt out. I was just kind of like feeling like, I just wasn't fitting in that institutional mold. And, the managerial hierarchy and being told what to do. I'm a very stubborn person. I feel like I'm a natural healer. So, good at the bedside, but wasn't good with the politics. They'd always ask me to be on a committee, but then they never wanted me there once I got there. Because I would just speak my truth. And sometimes the truth is very difficult for people to hear. So I just always knew what was right, but it just wasn't a good fit after a while. And there was a point in my life where I've always been sensitive. And I kept hearing the same theme over and over with friends and family, like, you're too sensitive, you're too sensitive. And I started feeling like something was wrong with me, and things that would normally someone would just roll off their back would just devastate me. You see an animal inside the road that's been hit by a car and I'm just sobbing, or somebody says something that they think is funny and I'm crying. I mean, I just cry at everything. I cry when I'm happy too. And I was actually told by, physicians that I had depression and anxiety, and I believed it.
Wow.
And, was medicated, and just felt like didn't feel right. It just didn't feel like me. And I sought out, or somebody helped me seek out a therapist that worked with highly sensitive people. And when I met with her the first time, it was like a 3-hour session, and she was really cool. And she pretty much said, you're this garden variety, clairvoyant, clairaudient, all this stuff, and said you're an empath. Well, I had never really heard of any of these terms, so it was a whole learning experience. And you know Nancy, because you've had a history there with your daughter, so that she's got these great tools. So it wasn't like just going to your standard therapy and talking about how you feel. It was energy work, and I was learning about chakras and meridians and past lives, and I would leave there just like, what on earth is she talking about? It was very woo-woo, and it took a while to kind of understand what was going on with me. I weaned off all the meds, which is a whole nother story. And about that time, my life started changing, and I started being so highly intuitive that I couldn't deny it any longer. So I feel like the medications were numbing me. And I have to say that some people are put on these medications when they think they have anxiety or depression, and it's really just a spiritual manifestation of our abilities and our gifts.
Yep. That's funny that you mentioned that, because I don't remember. I came on at one point and Spirit was bringing that up in a message to someone. And so, yeah, I mean, very, very true. There is, in some cases, you're exactly right. It's a numbing agent, right? So
right. And I think that they have the medications serve their purpose for some people. So my disclaimer here as a nurse and a healthcare professional is don't go throwing your meds in the bin. Just look into it and
right.
Seek professional help, and hopefully your life will turn around if you're feeling
right.
it. And then I also, at this time, it was kind of interesting because the mediumship and the psychic abilities and the art all came at the same time. So here I was 50 years old going, I got to be a beginner again. So I had to learn all this stuff, and I'm not a trained artist. I always wanted to be an artist and had a lot of interest in the art, but it just had to learn. And it was what my soul was called to do. And it feels so right now.
Well, in the work that you've done several, before it's hard when you're a medium and you have a fellow medium and you start to know their spirit people, because it's like, oh, they're here again. So I'm always, in some ways I find myself, there's almost like you keep an arm's length from something, because you almost see too much and you don't want to especially when you're developing. But you've literally tapped into all my spirit people, and each one of the pictures that you've drawn has been amazing, because there's you always use a certain color for whatever the spirit tells you. And I think that's fascinating, because my friend Paul, you did a picture of him, and the color you used was an inside joke between the two of us. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like you obviously wouldn't have known that. And it was funny because it was, like I said, it was an inside joke. That color, there was something about that color that it was funny. And so I'm amazed by that. It takes a lot of patience and practice, but I feel like that, I mean, it's interesting how you go from being a nurse to this artist too, that like you didn't have that training and that background, and you just, it's like when you're ready, you know, the you know, it all shows up in different forms, and you're healing, and you're the way that you're showing up is you're still serving, you know, going from a nurse to this, but it's such a different way. And it's that's why I'm saying I always like, I'm just in awe of it, because I do know that there's certain people like my brother, for example, he's going to be a nurse, and there's certain things that he's been feeling, and it's like he doesn't, and I'm like, it'll all unfold the way it needs to. So I trust that, you know, and those sometimes because we do, like I'm a very logical person as well. And so, you know, it took me many years, and really it was only by trying to help my daughter that I came into my own gifts. And so, yeah, it's fascinating, the I guess I don't know if you want to call it a roadblock or what that is, but it always leads to another door that's even better than we could imagine. So
it does those things that we feel are just tormenting us, and then why God, and why isn't this happening for me, and why can't I have this, and why can't I have that? And you know, that expression that rejection is God's protection, and it's a tough one. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it really, really is true. And if we just kind of open ourselves up to the divine and just go with it,
right?
Stop the resistance. But it's human for us to want to resist, but and have control. I mean, we're experiencing that with something else right now. You know, that word. By the way, you guys, we can't say that word right now because we might get shut off. So it's that word. Yeah. Yes, it's self-control. We can't control how much toilet paper we have right now either. So it's like, just show up.
It really is about surrendering. And that's the thing, you know, we kind of jump in different corners or different rings, if you will. And like, okay, what, you know, and that's the thing, like what, I think everyone, regardless of what you do, there's something you can do in this world to show up for yourself and for others. And so I think that's the biggest thing. If everybody would just show up and do like what they naturally feel like a resonance with. It doesn't matter if you're really good at like crocheting, like you can like you know, that everyone's doing the hearts in the window. Maybe you go out and do a bunch of crochet hearts, and you like, you know, it's the little things like that. Like, you know, it's fascinating. I was just thinking about that the other day. The people that are really having to show up and be of service are not like you would have thought. Like, it's such a unique situation we're being put in, and it's amazing how people that in the past, like my husband has to work, and he would have never thought that his job like would have been of being of service. Like but for him to show up every day and keep things running, you know, it's like it's amazing. Like, that's just to show everyone has a role in this life, and it's for you to find what that is and show up and, you know, shine your light for other people. And so
it doesn't matter what you do. It's like you're here. And some people will devalue people that maybe are doing a job that isn't as glamorous as somebody else. But you know what? Sometimes that person that's doing the job of pushing the mop or something is the person that has the biggest heart you've never, you know, you don't even know until you acknowledge them and talk to them. And like,
it's funny as you're saying that. I remember being at Disney a few years ago, and you know, having a rough day or whatever, you know, kids, it's crazy. And I found myself in kind of a corner area where I could take a respite. And one of the clean, you know, they keep that place so clean, and they're just, everyone has, it's kind of like Disney, everybody has a role, and they do it like 10 times, right? And one of the street sweepers, the guy came over and he was just talking to me, and I've never forgotten him, because there was something about him, a sparkle in his eye or something, but we just connected, we talked, and he just brought me this amazing sense of peace. And his job is literally to go and make sure that there's no trash on the ground. And it was just, I've never forgotten him. For some reason, the other day, I started thinking about him again, and I'm just sending him love, because it was just like, he showed up, And it was, and like a crazy mom that was stuck in Disney needed someone to help ground her at that moment, and he did. And so it just goes to show, you know, there's always
there are angels in disguise too. You know, you hear the stories.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. That's amazing. Well, I'm so excited. Do you want to show people your drawings that you've done, just to kind of give them a little? You showed me a couple that you did. Oh my gosh, like, you're amazing. Anyway, I can't say enough. I can't draw, but I have a creative, I mean, I think to be medium, you have to have a little bit of a creative mindset, because you have to work with abstract.
Right. Our imagination is a big part of mediumship. It really is. It can also like push you a little bit the wrong way as well. So it's such a fine line, and it's not easy being a medium. Let me just tell you that.
Oh, I know.
I know you. I'm just saying for our listeners.
I think I talked about that on one of the like I was, I mean, you and I have taught, like, our kids, like, you know, they're people like spouses, or not spouses, but boyfriends, girlfriends, they've left their lives, and we're like, okay, another one bites the dust, because they're
I can't date you because your mom's a witch. Just like, you know, I love Halloween. You just see my house, it's like, I go crazy. Like, some people love Christmas. Mine's Halloween. But so what if somebody is? What deal? They are. But so luckily my children are pretty grounded, and they just like, they just know that's not the one for me then.
Yeah, no, you're very, very lucky. It's definitely, and I think the biggest thing out of all of that is, despite, and I know that, like, I can, speaking for myself, and I know that you have the same alignment as well, that it's one of those things that when you've sort of, again, devoted, or you've, you know, whatever, you serve spirit, whatever that looks like, and there's going to be losses, you're going to lose friends, you're going to lose connections, but you're also going to gain so much more. And at the end of the day, you really have a sense of what ego looks like, because there's times where spirit will use you, and you're like, really? Like, you want me to go tell this person this, and they're going to think I'm crazy. And a good example, I know Michael's on, he was on one of the shows last time, a couple episodes ago, and he was getting someone, and nobody that was in the live stream could take it, but he honored spirit. He just was like, this is what I'm getting, here it is. And I was going to get my hair cut, and my friend, her husband's like, I need to talk to you. I'm like, what? And he's like, that was for me. And very specifically, exactly what Mike said. And if he wouldn't have honored that and gave the message, then it would have been lost. But spirit knows who's going to show up and who needs the message. And it's not about us. It's not about our ego. It's about serving spirit, whatever that looks like. And so
they're so intelligent on the other side. They know how to line things up. And, you know, I have drawn portraits, and I still have a binder of some that, you know, I haven't found their owner yet. But I will draw somebody, and I'll have people like on my spirit portrait page on Facebook that I post these pictures of. They'll say, oh, I know who that is. And then I'll talk to them in Messenger. I'm like, I just don't think that's for you. And I'll just kind of sidebar it. And, you know, lo and behold, like, I met someone a couple months ago, another medium here in town, and he joined my page, and he goes, oh my gosh, he goes, that's my cousin. And I'm like, that's the one that I told 2 or 3 people, no, that's not for you.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, it was for him. So it's almost like this time warp of something. They know that someone's going to meet us and get a message.
And it's like almost exactly when they need it too. It's like it's just crazy. And that's why it is all about surrendering and trusting spirit, whatever that looks like. And I think a lot of times too, when you start out as a medium and you're really trying to develop it, that's you got to balance that, because if spirit's going to know if you're in this space of ego, your gifts are you're going to hit a wall on that, because you're not serving spirit. And not to say that people that can't connect, that's where they're at. I'm not diagnosing anyone here in terms of their abilities, but I know that that's why sometimes, and this is one of my issues, it's hard for me to take compliments or anything, because it's not me, it's spirit. Like, I don't even want that to be in my head, that, oh my gosh, you know, you're an amazing. it's not me, it's spirit. I'm opening up. I'm just allowing that to come through without resistance. And so
right, we're that channel that you can dial in on your radio station. And
yeah, absolutely, that's exactly what it is. So as long as my ask to spirit is always humble me, always keep me in that space. If I feel like, because there's been some there's been some readings that I've done that I'm like, I'm blown away. It's almost like I'm a third party witness. I'm like, you guys are amazing that you like. And then the person tries to give that to me and I'm like, no, it's not me, it's them. But I always like, just don't let me take that on. It's not me. So yeah, so it's one of those things that, and there's times where they like, if I do get out of line, then they're like, we're gonna, and I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. So you really do have to, it's a balancing act, and that's part of the human experience as well. That, even though we are like, we all, I believe, have the ability to connect to some level. It's to what extent you're opened and receiving, and what your real purpose is. It's not forever. It's just, it's hard because it's not for the faint of heart. Like, you have to be in a space where you're ready to just get
it's definitely not for the faint of heart. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So great. I'm so excited. Do you want to show your pictures while I'm going to check the live stream now, because I've been
okay. Yeah, I wasn't going to draw anyone tonight because sometimes I go into like a light trance state. So you guys don't want to see me or like just drawing. It would be like watching paint dry. But sometimes when I'm in groups, I will do, meet up with other mediums online, and I will draw, and they look a little more Picasso-ish, and my eye might be crooked or something, but just because I'm just kind of getting the essence of who they are. But when I sit down and just kind of really tune in, and I'm, by myself, or it's when I kind of can really tune in and get a decent portrait. And I have to preface it by saying that, I'm not a portrait artist. I'm not trained in that, like your masters or anything like that. I've taken a couple little classes here and there for like some feature placement, but it's just pretty much I'm being taught by spirit, which is really cool because I've never taken any classes with any spirit artists, because they're rare. I guess there's not many of us. I know a few, and they're all amazing, the ones that I do know. Some in the beginning we would get online and just practice with each other. This is like before Zoom, when there was Skype, and we would just kind of work out things, and it's not always perfect. And I drew a couple this week, and I thought, why don't I just show them tonight? Because I'm eventually going to put them. I'll do some live ones on my YouTube page, and then I put some on Instagram or my spirit portrait. And then we'll see if there anybody here.
Yes.
Have you just look at those comments, because I just have my little phone here with the comments. They're kind of small.
There's you've got a few, a lot of people that are on here, they know your work and they're just saying you're amazing. So just reiterating that as well. And I'm sorry if I can't get to all your comments here, but thank you guys so much for showing up. And like I said, yes, we're here to serve in any way possible. So this is what we can do. So let's see here. Yep. Perfect.
Oh, that's really sweet. So nice. Oh, hi, Janelle.
Yes. 1111 Balance, the most amazing soul portrait artist, Paige Rogers. Absolutely. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, Paige. I don't know. Paige, do you mind if I show your portrait? I know we have a delay here, so sorry, guys.
Yeah, no, just go ahead and or I'm sorry, I don't want to answer it. It's like, you should show. I'm sorry, yeah.
We're just gonna answer for you.
Oh, that's awesome. All right.
Oh yeah.
Tuned it. Yeah, it's a little delayed here.
We'll wait.
Greetings from California. Hello, Lotus 1111. Hello.
Hi, California. Am
I a medium? Yes, Michael, you're a medium.
Yes, you're a medium.
I'm trying to deny it.
Oh, wait, I think I have Michael in the drawer here.
Oh, do you?
We'll see. I don't know if I still have, because he couldn't go on a trip with us, so I don't know that I have his picture anymore. We had Michael's head on a stick. If you guys know Michael, he's just.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Yes, I was just looking at that picture and I was like, we're all three gonna have to be on, and we can Yeah, I don't think we ever showed that to him, but yeah, he's definitely
Michael.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. We went to an event and we took his picture.
He couldn't come to Colorado, so yes. I still have it.
That's Michael. So he was on the last show and he's kind of here right now, at least in the comments. So
such a fun DM.
That's awesome. All right.
Okay, the page says yes. Okay, so I'll digress then. So the soul portraits that I make, they take me a while. They can take me a month or longer, depending on what's going on with the recipient's life. And I start these out with an intention, and I use a blessing on my canvas, and so it's a ritual for me, and to get into that sacred space. And I'll use Reiki and holy water, and I pick colors based on what's going on in their life, because each color has a vibration. Mm-hmm. Each, like for instance, like red would vibrate with like the note of C. The green has a healing vibration. I won't bore you all with the details, but I just kind of intuitively tap into colors, and then I know what somebody needs. And I also will crush up crystals and mix it in with my paint, so it's never really a smooth surface. It's a little bumpy, lumpy. So if you don't mind that kind of art, that's how it shows up. And so pages was taking me a while. What's so interesting was I don't have a picture of it here, but there was an egg that showed up in the picture, and everything was kind of dark, and it was like you could tell she was kind of churning and working through something, and I won't disclose anything. But this egg just kind of like, I had to put it away for a while. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And this egg just kind of birthed. And it's just, oh my God, I'm so in love with this portrait. I want to keep it. So it's this phoenix that rises from the ashes. I just love this one. And the layers underneath that are just like, I tapped into past life. And what's really interesting is Paige is an amazing hypnotherapist. So, and she's also a registered nurse. So she's got this healing ability too. So we just really, and I keep in touch as we're going along. And I'm like, hey, well, how do you feel about Normandy, France? And, oh yeah, I had a past life there. So then we start talking about stuff. So that, it's really fun because we just connect. And so anyway, this one is, I actually used some fluorescent paints on this. So if you put a black light on it, it'll show up in the dark. So I just need to varnish this, and then it'll go on its way. But so this is an example of a soul portrait that I make.
That's amazing. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh my gosh. Thank you for showing that. Yeah. I like I said, I'm in awe of your work. It's like, to me, it's like.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm working on your portrait right now. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, so do you want to get into some readings now? I don't know if I'm feeling the energy. It's kind of like, and before we started, I was getting some information, and so I do want to go, I did take down a couple notes, because so whenever I do a live, or there's even, I'm kind of calling in spirit, and I feel it's kind of like walking into a party, right? There's a lot of energy, and it's like, okay, who has the greatest need? Come forward, just tell me what you need to say, and I'll give the message. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes they're very polite, and they're like, can I just tell this person this?
Yeah, they just pop in for a word.
Yeah, and so I have a couple that I want to give, and I know we'll be doing some readings for those that are on the live stream, and then I know I'm going to be doing. I'll be doing free readings too. Like I'll be selecting some folks to do free readings, just one-on-one, because one-on-ones you're going to get a lot more information. It's going to be more in depth, and they're going to go to the way that I do readings. And it's funny because every medium, like you do, it's such a good example how everyone does everything a little differently. You go to a layer that like I can't access, but for me, I go to a layer that it's almost like they show me what is the thing they need to work through at this moment. And so when they feel that, and so everyone has a different way of doing it. And so
yeah, it's awesome. There's a medium for everyone, and everybody does it differently. And that's, and I love how yours come in, and boy, you get cut to the chase, and it's like you know what they need. And I can go into the old stuff and dig out that stuff. It's like, okay, let's clear this energy because it's bogging you down.
Yeah, it's fascinating. So with that being said, and I'm going to pop over to the live stream to make sure that I can see the comments. I know that there's going to be, again, there's a little bit of a lag here. The first thing before I even start, I just want to say, it is important to know I keep getting this, and I want to just, even though it's a bit ambiguous, and anyone who's had a reading with me, spirit will use signs and symbols that may not make any sense right now, but it'll usually be validated later, or it's a clue. It's kind of like, it's a clue. I don't know any of, it's like a riddle is what it is. And so in some cases now, there's something really significant to the rain, and I keep getting, and I know it's going to, depending on where you're located and what the weather is like, but where I'm at, it's that April showers brings May flowers. May just feels, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, and I don't know why I need to say it, but I feel like May is going to, just for all of us, it's going to be a bit of the rebirthing, and it's kind of like the coming out sort of energy that's happening. It feels like it's going to be a good shift for us, but there's something symbolic to the feeling of the rain coming down, and it's like that washing away of energy. So sometimes you can run from the rain, or you can stand in it and let it kind of heal you. Rainwater, like, I don't know if anyone's ever, like, rainwater is, there's something very, like, if it goes on your grass or your flowers, holy crap, like the flowers just blossom after a rain. And so there's something really symbolic to the feeling of the rain and it washing away certain things. So, so I just really want to emphasize that, because I do feel like that's really important for everyone to know. I can't say that enough, that all I've been doing is meditations with rain, and I'm envisioning it sort of washing away with myself, as well as everyone, the earth, everything. And so cleaning. And so
visual.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Now there's a couple people I want to make sure to get readings for some folks on here, but I also I want to say a couple things. And again, this is just me showing up to honor spirit. If you can't take it, that's okay. But these folks did come in beforehand, and so I just want to acknowledge who the spirit folks that I do have here.
Sure.
So there's this spirit was actually pretty clear. I just can't read my notes. So again, I can't draw and I can barely write. So it's there's a male that's coming, a younger male. Okay, God, thank you. I'm like, his energy's coming back in as I'm saying. I can't read my handwriting here. It's a younger male that's coming forward. I get a Southern energy from him, whether or not he's actually from the South. He's got a little bit, there's something Southern connected to him, but he is younger, and he's saying to tell Jessica hi. So I don't know if there's a Jessica on here, or if there's going to be one that's going to listen to this, but I feel like he wants to acknowledge Jessica, and he's saying, tell her hi. I said hi. And he's kind of, the way that he's coming in would make me feel like you, if I tell you who this, you wouldn't even remember this person. You'd be like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about this person. Because I feel like this would have been someone from back in the day. This would have been someone who maybe, you would have had a connection with in school or something, but the way that he's coming in is that hesitation as to acknowledge that there isn't a super close relationship there. So I just want to acknowledge that. And then there's also, there was also a father energy that's coming in, and there's something symbolic to him. He has a bike, he's showing me a bike. And I feel like there would have been something symbolic to you and him with the bike, like he taught you how to ride a bike, or he's saying, just kind of riding of the bike. I feel like this would be a feminine energy that he's talking to, like his daughter, but there's a masculine energy to you. So if it's almost like being in the feminine, but also having that dominant energy. So whenever I don't get a strong, solid, like if they're acknowledging daughter or son, because it's almost like you might be a daughter, but have a strong male energy. So I just want to acknowledge that as well. And then I just have one other, I just want to acknowledge here as well. There was there's somebody's son that is coming forward, and I don't know if it almost feels like his energy has been with me before, like this is someone I would have read for in the past. But he's acknowledging he would have passed, and there would have been some drug use as well. And so it's almost like he's kind of showing me what he had done in the past, but there's also a symbolism to a car. So I don't know if he would have, you know, gotten high and gotten a car or what that is, but that's what I'm getting with that. So I just want to acknowledge that. And I'm also seeing the heart rocks too. It's almost like whenever I go out, I always kind of look for those rocks that are in the heart shape, and he's showing me that.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm getting on there. Are you, I'm going to pause. I just wanted to make sure, because they just brought through a bunch of references.
Yeah, they were coming at you, weren't they?
And I'm sorry, one other thing, there's a grandmother that would have started with an E, I feel like an Esther or something, or an Ethel, but she just popped in as well, just to say hi. So
oh yeah.
Okay.
My ascension in light says yes when he overdosed. So if that's the last one you were talking about, the
okay.
car.
Okay. When he overdosed. Okay, yep. Okay, got it. Okay, thank you. Yeah, and I just have to tell you to my ascension in light, and hi, I know you've been on before, and thank you for joining again. I do want to acknowledge, I just have to say too, he's feeling like and this message, this feels like it's a larger message for other people as well, but he is making me feel like yeah, he's talking to the collective as well. He's saying that like sometimes like we're so much in our head that we don't see the good that we have, and we get caught up on the one bad thing in our life. And I feel like he would have also had okay. Oh, okay. So he did come forward last time. So for whatever reason, I feel like he wants to come through again. But he is making me feel like, would you understand if he would have had issues with his father as well? They would have had a little bit of a tumultuous, if I can say that right, relationship. Bye, Michael. Thanks for joining. He's making me feel like he wouldn't have always had the best relationship with his father, and so he used that as the measuring stick in which to evaluate the way he was in life. And so he was really hard on himself, and he makes me feel like he couldn't set that aside and get past it. And so for whatever reason, it held him back. And so he made bad choices on this. The reason why I'm saying this is the message for the collective, because he's making me feel like certain people are looking at certain little things in their life that might be off, and they just focus on it. When you focus on what's not working, you will get more of that same thing. And when you focus on, you kind of put that aside and work through healing that in another level, but understanding that they could only do what the best that they could do given the circumstances. So father didn't want him. Okay, never was with him. Yes. Okay, he was sad and unworthy feelings. Okay, so I do remember him coming through last time. Okay, so yeah, so he just wants to give that message. And the heart rocks is for his girlfriend, which was your daughter, I believe. And so I don't know if he would have given her a heart rock or what's the significance of the heart rocks, but he's bringing that up as well. Okay, so that's a yes. Okay, perfect. Okay, so all right, I'm gonna pause. Amy, do you have any spirits that are popping in, or?
Yeah, I do. I have hang on here.
Yeah.
Mother's name is Esther and still alive. I hate to like butt in here when now people you should get 3 of them, so they're like, oh hey, that's showing up now. Let's see. Just my mom said her mother's name is Esther, but she's still alive. Oh, okay. Never met the grandma, so don't know if she's telling the truth. Yeah, that's Erica Mango.
Okay. I'm so far behind.
Sometimes they'll just pop in. Similar message.
Okay. And Cassidy, and I saw you did a super chat. If I've got that right, thank you for doing that. I don't know if you've got any messages for her that's coming through.
Super chat. I don't know what the super chat is.
Yeah, yeah. Let me just see.
Is that like a pass at Disneyland where you get to go to?
Yeah, kind of like a fast pass. Yeah, a little bit like that. It's just a nice way of kind of donating and just.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah. I don't see it, so you'll have to tell me what she said. So.
She says, "What message do I need to know from Spirit?" And so, I'm getting I'll give you really quickly what I'm getting, and if you wanna, are you getting?
What was her name again? I'm sorry.
It's Cassidy.
Cassidy.
Yeah. So Cassidy, what they're showing me for you really clearly is this feeling of taking steps up. And I keep seeing you taking steps up. So it's forward and up. And so I've been seeing that a bit for you. And so for you, it's really important there's something where you not only are moving forward, but you're moving up in terms of your ascension. And it's not like a heavy climb in terms of a mountain, but there's a step process. I feel trepidation on your behalf. Like I feel like there's a hesitation there. But there's a grandmother that's in spirit that's also pushing you along the way. I feel like there would be a grandmother, trying to figure out, and she's kind of stepping forward. I feel like this might be on your mother's side. So it's either a grandmother or great grandmother, but I do feel like an energy of her pushing you forward. She's making me feel like, what is that called when they're like a pilgrim, or there's something about her energy to where she would have had to be very innovative and genius for her time. And so she's really kind of pushing you forward to make this next change. And I don't know what this is exactly, but I feel like there's something about, they're not telling me exactly. And whenever I see a pen, there's something to do with like learning, or like a pencil, there's something to do with that. So it's something around that as well. Your grandmother passed in December. Okay, so I feel like she would be around you, and she's really pushing you.
I picked up on that fresh grief, which is interesting because I pulled a card with grief. So it's interesting that she was just talking about her grandma.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, grandma's clearly with her. She's not in this alone.
And then just really quickly, Cassidy, would you know someone who had and your grandmother's holding up the sign for the 12 steps, like AA, that kind of program. Is that connected to, I'm not sure, that there's somebody that's connected to. I don't know if your grandmother would have had this issue or whom would have had this issue, but there's the acknowledgement of sobriety. And so it doesn't necessarily have to mean like addiction or something like that, but there's something where she's bringing that up as well, in terms of, it could be addictive thoughts, it could be the way that we think, the things that we do, but she's holding up that symbol for that kind of 12 steps that take it. Okay, thank you. Take it step by step. That's where I'm seeing it. You're taking it step by step, literally step by step. So there's this is something much bigger than just what I'm saying. She was an alcoholic. Okay, so that's why she's bringing, I just got chills. So that's why she's bringing that through in terms of that symbol, because I feel like you're doing something as well in terms of this, but it's showing up in a different way. So she's saying, be gentle on yourself. Be gentle on yourself. That's very clearly what she's saying, is be gentle on yourself. So perfect.
Wow. Your symbols are amazing, because I don't deal with symbols, so it's so fascinating to watch this process. I'm mesmerized by it. I really am.
I'm mesmerized when you do your spirit artist. I'm like, how does she do the eyes like that? It's amazing.
I don't know. I could show one of my portraits. Not a couple. I'm just kind of drawn to this lady here. I think you guys can see her.
Let me see okay. Does that look like anyone that would be does that connect with anyone that you would have known that's passed on the super chat or on the live stream? Sorry.
What I pick up with her is, what was interesting was I only wrote a couple notes. One thing with spirit art is I don't get a lot of detail sometimes. It's more, the picture is your evidence. But this lady liked her mascara. And you know how some people put on like tons and tons of mascara and you get the little clumps, and not that, you know, not that it looks bad. It's just that this lady liked her mascara. And I was aware of a motorcycle with her. I don't know if she passed on a motorcycle, but there's something about a motorcycle, if anybody can understand her.
Interesting. Wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very specific. So does anyone connect with that information?
My glasses on here to read these.
And it's funny, I know you don't have it on there, but there would be something symbolic to a beauty mark that as you were talking, I was seeing a beauty mark too. So
I don't know. Could be.
Yeah, we'll
that's
see.
That's funny because sometimes I'll put a mark and it's on the wrong side. And like someone will like say, "Oh, that's not for me." Like, wait a minute.
I know the one. Sometimes they'll everything.
I'm not pulling them out of a hat and drawing them. I'm just like, I don't, because that's another thing. I don't see them as I'm drawing them. I'm feeling them, and they're resting upon me. You know. Okay. Every once in a while, I'll get someone that says, "Oh, I look like your mom's friend Flo," or something. Oh, okay, Flo had big hair or something. But for the most part, I just feel it. So
that's amazing. Yeah. So we'll see if they're not on now, then maybe they'll come across.
Yeah. You know, sometimes it could be someone that you know, you could be the messenger. So that's all right. I wasn't sure. I actually had set the intention for these portraits to be tonight, but like I'm here, so why not?
Yeah, heck yeah. You never know. They'll show up where they need to.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Carolyn.
Oh, hi, Carolyn. Oh my gosh. Let me see here. I'm just going back through and see what else we missed here.
Yes.
Okay, Erica Mango. I want to make sure. Does anyone on my spirit team want to come through, past or loved ones? Let me just make sure to. Are you getting anything for Erica? I guess I'll just kind of give what I'm getting, and then if you want to pop in there.
Yeah, I pick it up on something here. I'll take some notes while you.
Erica, they're talking specifically. I feel like there would be. There's a heavier set man's energy that I feel for you. It's around, like, I feel like this would be connected with a father energy. And I feel like there's certain things they're making me feel like, I feel like for you, there's certain healing around your father, the male energy within your life that is coming forward for you in different ways. They're making me feel like this is connected to a little bit of like owning your power in a different level. So I feel like that's going to be happening for you. But it feels like it's coming in for you in terms of you're going to be kind of facing this thing that you've in your life that you've maybe sort of turned your back from in the past, but that's what I'm getting for you. So hope that was helpful, Erica. And hi, Tina. Oh my gosh, Tina's on. Tina's been working. She's one of those, you know, showing up and doing what she has to do to keep things running. So thank you, Tina, so much. You're amazing. Working late nights and everything. So that's awesome that you joined. Yay. Let me see here. Okay. And then, and I don't know, and Amy, just please interject if I don't want to, like, if you get anything else that I might be missing, just please feel free to interject. And then let's see. So Luna, I would like to donate super chat for Nephi perspective and see if you have anything coming forward for her. Thank you, ladies. Nephi perspective. Nephi, is Nephi on? I'm sorry, I'm not sure. Is that someone else that's joined? I know I'm trying to go back through and see if I missed something. Nephi, okay. Nephi perspective. I'm going back through. Winnie. Oh, Winnie. Yes, Winnie. Okay, sorry. You said that earlier. Okay. So Nephi's perspective. Okay. So let me just see if I'm getting anything for you specifically. This is really weird. Did you recently, Nephi's perspective, was there something, they're showing me the feeling of having lost an object or something. The feeling of having lost something, or the feeling of like you've misplaced it and you don't know what to do. You didn't know what you did with it. I don't know if this is a literal or figurative, but they're making me feel like this feeling of you've lost something. And as I'm saying that, it's almost like, okay, sometimes they'll take a little bit more time, sometimes they'll get it very clearly. And this feeling of like, I don't know if you've recently lost some love in your life, or the feeling of like that, the feeling of not tapping into that love energy, or the feeling of loss. There's something around you where there's a feeling of loss. Does that make sense at all? Let me go down here and see if I can. Okay.
Is it Neff? Is that how you say it? Neff?
Neff. Sorry, Neff. Yes. Does that make sense what I was saying? And Erica is saying, I do feel healing with my dad. He is a very strong man and is trying to just like him. Okay, yeah, keep doing that. Spirit's really encouraging you with that as well. But there's also, Erica, sorry, really quickly, I'm jumping around a little bit, but that's okay. I just, whatever Spirit wants is where we go. Erica, there's also, what's that?
I'm like trying to keep up.
I don't, it's there's Erica, there's also a birthday that I don't know if it was recently your birthday, or it feels like there would have been another like a sibling or someone's birthday as well, that Spirit's acknowledging that as well. There was a birthday that I feel like may have just passed or something. Let's see here. Okay, so Neff perspective. Okay, so it resonates completely. Okay, so okay. So, oh, I just got a lot of chills for you right now. And as I'm saying, Spirit, because they'll make me feel the emotions for you of really what I need to deliver in terms of, please don't lose hope. I can't really say that any other way for you. They really want to, they really want to give you a lot of love right now. They're telling me that there's a lot of sadness surrounding you and a feeling of just generalized loss. They're saying, please don't. And this is, and I'm going to tell you exactly what they're showing me, because it's really important for you to understand this. You know, the jewelry boxes that we have, they're showing me, it's like it's almost like you put this, like this feeling of love or hope, you put it away in your jewelry box. And it's almost like at one point, it's something that was so precious to you that you put it away in this sort of jewelry box as to remember, but you've lost it on some levels. And so they're telling you to go back to it. It's time to kind of go back to that energy and just really be in that space. And so just know that they're getting you a lot of love and a lot of support around you. As I'm saying that, I see a ton of guides coming in right now. These are not people that have been incarnated in this life. And I don't usually get this, but I'm seeing a ton of spirits come around you right now that it's like next level spirit. It's not people, this isn't family that has lived this life. So they're all showing up in massive white, and they're just surrounding you a lot and giving you a lot of love. So just hang in there, things will get better. I don't know if you live close to an ocean or if you can get close to a body of water. If you can't, if you can at least take like a salt bath or do something to connect with the water, because there's something about you integrating your soul into that it's like releasing of these emotions. And I feel like you have a purge that's coming for you. So it's going to be good. You got to feel it to heal it though. So you really have to be open to be able to do that. So
is that Neff? You're still talking?
Yeah, that was a bit long-winded, but I had to get it out.
I feel like there's some sadness there that's like we need to boil it up, bring it up, and then like purge it. I also want to ask you if Neff has a dog in spirit. I feel like it's like a dog here, but it's I'm assuming this is a female. I feel like the person that we're talking to, Neff, is a female. Is that correct? Yes, Erica, I have something for you too.
Okay.
Yes, the beach. Yes, I was picking up on water. It's interesting we were talking about water earlier too. Yes, the beach. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, there you go. Good. Perfect. I'm so glad, because they're saying you need to get there. You need to go and just,
good.
You know, you can social, we can still, I don't know. I know in Colorado, they're saying no, like it's definitely no, like stay home, but it's meaning don't get by people. You can still go to nature. You can still do all of that connecting. Just keep your distance from people, you know, be safe. So yeah, that can still happen. So I think there's a misconception. So definitely get out there. Let's see here. Okay. Let me just, I'm going.
Erica, I want to, and Erica, I don't know, I kind of lost track. I'm sorry, where we were there. with Erica, did we determine that the father was in spirit?
I think I don't recall if I think he was still here, but she's doing some healing with him. So I don't know if his energy, I wasn't getting that he was necessarily passed over, but spirit wanted to bring up the connection with the father. So I wasn't feeling him here. I was feeling that. So I think
I feel like there's somebody with her that feels like could be father, and it could be grandfather who was like kind of passed on this, like, how do I say it? Like, it's just a habit in the family, a behavior. And I want to say that the dad, I don't know if I wouldn't call him an angerholic, but he is quick to anger. I don't know if that would make sense for you.
Yeah, she's saying he's not in spirit. So that might, Amy, you might be getting like her father, her grandfather.
That's what I'm thinking. The grandfather talking about. It's almost like this behavior in the family that kind of like the pattern needs to be broken, and it can be broken with you. Because when we heal that in ourselves, we're actually healing that within the lineage of our family as well. It's deep, but it just feels like there's a quick to anger there with these gentlemen. I don't know if that would make sense.
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing that kind of pattern of abuse. And so it's hard. It's going to be hard because you're breaking, it's like the chain, breaking the cycle. So it's not a small task that you've signed up for. So just, you can do it.
Strong to break that, because then you can heal that for your future generations.
Yep, definitely. Yeah. Okay. So she's acknowledging that. So Erica, good. I'm hopeful.
Oh yeah.
It's helpful to you. Let me see here.
Oh, okay. Neff has the little doggy 2 years ago. Was his little guardian. Okay, good. Well, your little furry friend is definitely with you. And I feel like, when these animals come through, they just love us so unconditionally. And I feel like their energy is fuzzy energy. If that makes any sense. It makes sense to us woo-woo people.
I'm like, I actually know what you're talking about, but I know, and it's like, it's a fuzzy dog. Well, of course it's a fuzzy dog. Okay, no, I need more descriptions. Yeah, we try to, it's hard sometimes to translate that energy to a word. That's the biggest thing. It's so funny because unless you've really communicated with spirit, it's hard to sometimes it's like we literally have to be translators of a different language that doesn't have words. And so, okay, what's the human equivalence of that language? Let me see, this would be the closest I can get. And that's why whenever you hear people that have passed on to the other side and they say, there's just no words, because their energy there is no words. We have to find the best way to translate it. But no matter how we do that, it's never going to be sufficient to what spirit really tries to communicate, I guess is the best way I can say it. So
it's the emotions, it's that what's in our soul that we lose the body, but our soul just keeps all those emotions. And that's why it's so important for us to feel all that, because that's as mediums, we feel everything. So
right. Well, and it's interesting. So you're saying that. So hi, Naomi, thanks for joining. So Naomi, it's actually, gosh, it was about this time last year when we had the event in Phoenix. And I hope you don't mind me saying this. I think we've talked about this on one of the other ones, but well, you're saying it there. You were saying the heart palpitations. So, she was saying that she had a situation where she had to and my brother kind of experienced that as well, when people are really starting to open up. And actually I had this when I first started doing it. I was like, what is happening? Why am I getting this anxiety? Teresa Caputo talks about that. She thought she was going crazy, the anxiety, like what's happening to me. It's almost like you're aligning with that vibration. Spirit is an extremely fast vibration. So, and it's like, you have to raise your vibration in which to connect, but think of it like a magnet. I guess this is the best way to describe it. It's almost like if you get it the right way, it'll kind of attach to it, like the magnetic the magnetic field will attach. And so it's almost like, think of it like that. When spirit gets closer, it's almost like it starts to suck, you know, I'm not using the right words even, but you understand what I'm saying.
They're in our face. It's like when you're in the grocery store and someone's too close to you and you turn around and you're like, back off. But it's like, right here. And you're like,
yeah, it's that energy when you have a magnet to a like a magnetic surface, and it starts to suck, and then that causes your body will physically react to that. And so there is some cases where people think they have anxiety, where they think they're going crazy because they're like, why am I shaking?
Paranoid.
Yeah, and I like, I was at lunch with a friend and her brother came through, and I'm been doing this, I've channeled him before, but I let my guard down because I was thinking about him, and I was like, oh, I wonder if he has much, and he came in and I started shaking, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's too cold. Like I was freaking out, and I was like, oh wait, can you back off for a moment? And when he did, I just immediately calmed down. But I even let my guard down, and he got too close, and I was like, wait, okay, back up. So
not in a public place, sir.
I know, and we all have that tendency, you know. It's like, especially with the environment right now, like going out, like we feel around us. So be mindful. Is this mine? Is this someone else? And you can tell spirit. Like, I know Mike is on now, but when his sister first came in, I was getting really shaky, and like when I first connected him with his sister, and I was like, okay, just back off, and I can communicate with you, but you don't need to get that close to my energy field. And so then, you know, when they get a safe distance, let's start the dialogue again. So I feel like sometimes for people that are just starting out with their mediumship, they'll get a lot of that and they don't understand it. So so just know that if any of you are now I think, you know, Amy, you would appreciate this, you know, being a nurse, like, don't diagnose. So there may be something else, but I know myself and a lot of other people have experienced where it's really just spirit aligning, and that goes what we were talking about earlier, actually, Amy, the orbs, you know, like I've got the little Waze camera in here, and when I'll be doing meditation or something and they kind of settle their energy, but because I'm fascinated by the whole process of spirit, and I feel like there's some next layer information that I can sort of crack on some way that I need to, I'm researcher by nature. And when I leave the room, they just swarm, like all of them, like it's crazy. It's like completely quiet when I'm sitting there meditating or whatever, but I notice that they follow my energy, and it's just spirit being around me. They're just like, okay, that's fine. So I might have to post one of those videos on here. It's fascinating. Awesome. That it's like,
yeah, your videos are amazing. I just get like one or two. Sometimes they like to bounce off my head or do something quirky. Yeah. But yours are like this like dance and symphony in the room, and I actually turn off the camera because it tries to click on when it's off, and I'm like, no.
Yeah. It's fascinating. I actually, what I started doing too, because again, I'm kind of coming at from that scientific space. I sat in a room and I felt spirit really strongly, and I was like, show up on the video. Let me see you. And I would start to announce, like, okay, I'm feeling chills on my head. I feel someone over here. And where I would announce it, you'd see an orb go right there. And so it's fascinating to me because I'm like, so that just to me proves everything that was just said. When you're starting to feel it, I'm like, okay, I can feel you right now. I feel you over on my left. I feel you on my right. You know, I'll announce where it's at, and you'll see an orb shoot out from there, because that's their energy. I'm like, I need to share that with the world, because people need to understand that it is like, I'm feeling it. I announce it on the video and you see it. So anyway, that's what I do to geek out. That's
some entertainment when you're shut in, right?
Hey, you know, like, I mean, I was doing that before all of this, but I think I've taken it to the next level.
I watched it just fly by, like, and you know, there was a point where I thought it was the gnats in my plants, because I have plants all over the house, and it was like, no, but it's not.
Yeah, I try to create a very sterile environment in which to do that. Like no fans, no lights. I keep it very much. Yeah, so it's kind of fascinating. That's how I geek out. Like, and it's funny because I know you have your own little ways that you geek out. Like, oh my gosh, tell me more. Anyway,
it's so fun. It's just it's better than Netflix, to tell you the truth. To be dealing with them and talking with them, and I'll watch my dog. I mean, when I first started, like, my dog would just like start barking, and she's not a big barker.
Right.
Now she's kind of settled down, and sometimes she'll lay right outside the door. I don't let her in the room when I'm doing readings because she pants too much and gets on my nerves. But yeah, I'll go downstairs after I've been doing readings or being in a class or a workshop, and she's just looking all over the place. And
animals, big time.
It's amazing to watch animals tune into spirit.
Yep, definitely. Oh gosh, yeah. Let me just see. I'm looking at a couple more. You've got and I'm going to butcher this, but it's got Galawaman. It says, oh, Paige Rogers. Sorry, she switched computers. Got it. Okay, she's saying you're amazing.
Thank
so,
you. Thank you.
So, yes, that's very, very true. And then Dakota Home. Do any of my past ones, spirit guides, have anything for me? And are you good to? And Linda Cunningham, okay. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of jumping around. I want to make sure I get everyone. Are you good to keep going a little bit longer, Amy? I just want to check in with your energy.
I love this stuff. Yeah, the answer's always yes to that.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to kind of say the names, and if you are picking up on anything, if you want to give what you're getting, and I'll do the same. Dakota is asking if we have anything for her. Linda is asking, let me see here. And then ER.
Oh, you know what? I wonder, I lost track, and I know that if anybody understood my lady, I guess we don't have to determine it right now, but maybe we can review the chat later and message us or something.
Yeah.
I'm also aware of a gentleman here who he shows up here in it's a leather vest, and it's got patches all over it. And I want to say that he would have been a Vietnam veteran, and he's so proud of these patches on his vest. I mean, I see him like running his fingers over them, like, and he could tell a story about what each patch means. Let's see. And I wonder, like, I want to say like he had like the big mustache, like this guy, and I feel like he would, one of those guys that always touch their mustaches, and they're always like grooming it and getting it perfect. But his mustache really wasn't perfect. Yeah, but he was always touching his facial hair. I don't know if this makes sense for anyone here.
Okay. And it's funny. Oh, sorry, Dakota, you're a guy. Okay, sorry.
Sorry, Dakota.
I said girl. I'm sorry. I didn't. Are you? It's funny because I feel like whenever I've been able to, we can kind of double link, and I've been able to see a little bit when you're saying. I was like, yeah, because I can kind of. I don't always get that with everyone, but I think because I don't know, just energies.
Things together so we can pick up on it.
Yeah. Because I'm also there's some things, and again, if it's not someone that's on here, they'll be potentially seeing this. Spirit will lead them, but they need help. And you were saying patches, and there's one that I'm seeing in particular that's a yellow patch, and it's almost got like a half bottom, and I guess that would be a military one with a point at the top. And so I was seeing that as well on the.
I'm not sure. Well, we need to study our patches, don't we?
Yeah. So I'm seeing that when you were talking as well. So I don't know if that connects with anyone, but that's what I was getting.
Clearly the American flag too. He is American. I do feel that.
Yep.
I don't feel like he passed on a motorcycle, because I want to put him on a motorcycle, but I don't feel like he passed on it. He had this guy would ride his bike. And I feel like he was part of I don't want to say a gang. He was part of a group of these veterans that would be on their bikes, because I wanted to take them over to the where's the veterans hall to have a beer.
Oh, like the legions. Yeah, nice. Let's see if that makes sense for anyone. If not, then they might stop by later. Let's see here. Okay, I'm just seeing if I'm getting anything else for anyone. Let me see. Okay. Let me just check in here.
Yes.
Oh, someone's saying yes, Robert. Is that my ascension in light? Would that be connected with Robert for you? Oh, okay. There's a couple different people that would be Robert Bike Club. Oh.
I do feel like this. I want to say Vietnam, but maybe I don't, because he doesn't feel old, like World War I type of old.
Oh, wow. So there's two people that both have a connection with Robert here. That's
interesting. They come in, don't they, on their bikes together? They're like, that tells you in spirit, they're going to do what they want to do. They're going to have fun. I know I'm going to hang out with a bunch of artists when I get over there.
Yeah. And they always try to get the most amount of people too that can, because they know that the time is limited, but they're like, you know what, let's join our energies together and this is collectively what we'll say. I always think that's fascinating, because they're like, well, I thought that was for me. Or was it for me? And if it makes sense for you, it's for you.
Biker club, no gang, right? Because it was just a club, yeah. They wore colors, all that's, yeah. Robert Navy, but no bike.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see if I'm getting anything.
I wonder if the mustache makes sense for her. This guy with his. I want to put rings on his fingers too. He was interesting. This guy's really colorful.
Yeah, and there's a connection with the month of October as well that I'm getting with him. Like I heard that really loud and clear. Wow. David loves motorcycles. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely a Harley. I didn't say that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I feel like the handlebars are up here. I want to like, put them up here.
Oh yeah. The big ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Big mustache and rings. Okay, so it sounds like there's a couple different people that might be.
Okay. Big mustache and rings. Okay.
Which is great, because I think you all were sort of asking if there was anything for you. So, past in October. Okay.
Oh wow, great. Yeah, 2008.
Okay. So, yeah. So it sounds like there's definitely for a few of you as well. But, yeah. Okay.
A high bar. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm also getting another, there's a little girl coming in too, that I'm getting in. Do you have any more about the,
no, it's just a passing hello.
Yeah, sometimes they'll just come in and just say hello. And okay, so there is a little girl that's coming in, and I feel like she's wanting to acknowledge, she's there with, I don't know, she's there with another female. I feel like this would be a grandmother or something to her, but she's making me, and I feel like she's come through before, I can't remember, but she's making me feel like you would know her mom, and there's a feeling of an aunt that's connected to her. There's a feeling of like, this isn't your daughter, but you would know her mom, and this mom lost her daughter, and there's a sadness around that as well. And I'm getting that like a key name. I don't know if there's like a Peyton or what this is, but I'm getting that name as well. And so she's just making me feel like she's showing me her mom. There's a lot of sadness around her mom, obviously, in terms of her passing. And I feel, it's definitely a little girl. She's just, and I don't know if she would have passed when she was, I feel like she definitely was young, And I feel like there may have been something involving like an accident, or the feeling like, okay, she's saying it differently, that it wasn't supposed to happen. And so I'm not sure what that means, but I definitely feel like there's this little girl that's popping in here. So she just kind of came in on the side. So that just tells me that there may not be someone who's directly on here, but they might come to it later. The way that she's sort of coming in makes me feel like the person's going to see this that needs to, but not right now. So
a little bit with this little girl as well.
Yeah.
I want to say that I know that we keep, pictures that children have drawn, on the refrigerator or whatever, but I'm aware of a picture that she has drawn. Of course, she would show me that, being an artist. And she's also mentioning somebody doesn't like clowns. This is not just like the clowns from the circus with the big hair, but we're talking about the ones with like the mime makeup. She's bringing that forward to me, if that makes any sense.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. It could be for the person that it's for, that they don't like clowns, or it would make sense for them.
Okay. My ascension in light is saying a toddler or older. I'm getting the way that she's coming in. It's almost like, I sometimes like to explain a little bit just so people understand. she's coming in as older, not coming in as a baby, but I feel like she would have been younger when she passed. And so this is a feeling of like she's coming in around the age of like 4 or 5, but I feel like she would have been much younger than that. And that's kind of the way that they come through, as to acknowledge that that's her age that she's coming in right now. But I don't feel like that would have been.
I have the name Charlie with her too, and I thought it just popped in. I don't know if Charlie is like her nickname or somebody here who's related to her named Charlie. It feels like a female Charlie.
Okay. Interesting.
Cassandra says, I hate clowns.
Nobody likes clowns.
I love them or hate them. I don't know many people love them. Nobody likes them.
That's fun. Yeah, so it's funny that you say that now, the Charlie. Yeah, I definitely feel that. So for whatever reason, she's just coming forward and wants to acknowledge that, and just wants to just give her mom love around that, because I do feel like she's making me feel like since her passing that things have been off for her in terms of relationships, and the feeling of like she hasn't really her mom feels like things have been falling apart a little bit. And so there's a sense of responsibility or loss associated to the mom though too. So I feel like she's come through before, but again, just know that this girl's coming through.
Age 5 to 7. So the clown that grabbed my arm when I was 5 to get her dirty hands off me, and she was shocked.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, wow. She could be talking about a memory here. Interesting. So does Cassandra understand take away the name Charlie? That could have just been someone who popped in.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Interesting, yeah. It's hard to keep track of the thread. I'm sorry. this is my first time on here, so I'm like,
yeah, no.
It's like, who left first?
Yeah, so that's all I'm getting. But I feel like there's something about an aunt or something being connected to. So I feel like she may have come through before. But anyways, that's what I'm getting on that. Let me just see. Let me just ask if there's anyone else that would be. I don't know. And Amy, if you're getting anyone else. Let's see here. I'm just asking Spirit if there's any other.
So Cassandra says it makes sense. So she could take the little girl, is what it sounds like. I don't know if she's going to deliver the message, or whether it's for her personally, I don't know.
Okay. Perfect.
There we go. Let's see.
I feel like I definitely want to wrap it up with doing a message for the collective for everyone, but I also Naomi, there's a male energy that's crossed over on the other side that's coming forward for you. I feel like this would be a grandfather energy for you, and he's making me feel there. He's also mentioning a brother. There's another younger male that would be connected to you, and he's making me feel like there would be a distance there as well. Are you still on, Naomi? I know that I saw you earlier, but I want to like really, he's coming in pretty strong for you. And there's a younger male too that he's bringing up. Like, I don't know if this would be a brother to you or like a cousin that's like a brother, but he's bringing up the younger male. I feel like there's some things going on with him right now. And there's wanting to give him more positive energy, because I feel like he's just not mentally in a right space right now. Does that make sense? Okay, so yes, it makes sense on the grandfather. Would you understand? Is this your brother, or is this a cousin that's like a brother? It just feels like there's a younger male there's been some choices that have been made, that he's around that situation. And I feel like it's causing a little bit of division in the family. And there's a little bit of like, it's like a question of what sides are we taking at this time? Okay, is the younger male passed on? Your grandfather is not bringing this up, that he's passed on. He may have been, but he's bringing up the issues about decisions made that this younger male has made, that has caused frustration and people to divide. It's caused a division because of choices that was made by this man. Does that make sense? This younger male energy. I feel like people would not be talking to each other. Like I feel like his mom would not be talking to someone that I don't know if this would be your mom or what this is, but I just feel like it's causing some division in the family. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I'm getting. My brother is not talking to my mother. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So but I also feel like, let me just ask him if it's gonna, your grandpa, he's making me feel like it's going to get better, that it'll take some time, that there's certain, and as I'm saying that, I'm hearing the month of July, so I don't know if that's like when things are going to turn with them or what that is, but I'm hearing, and it frustrates me, so I don't talk to my brother as much. Okay. Your grandfather's making me feel like your brother does it, like he's really good at kind of comparing people, like, well, you're nothing like this person, and this lady's more like a mom to me than you are, and he's just coming from a space of a little bit of, he said the word kind of greedy energy right now, just because he's feeling a little bit, his back's against the wall on something. I'm not sure what this is. There's certain things that he's not sharing, but it's all that the root cause of it is something that he's holding on to within himself, and it's not for anyone else. So just know that that'll get better, that will happen in some time. And just one last thing for you too. I don't know if your mom grinds her teeth. His wife's mother. Okay, got it. Yeah, because I feel like it's almost like I don't need a mom, I have this mom. So he's telling your mom to like take, like with her teeth, I don't know if she's been grinding them, if that's been stressing her out, or if she has some dental work she has to get done, but he's just kind of acknowledging that as well, just to kind of take it easy and kind of focus on taking care of herself right now, and things will work out the way that they're intended to do. And so just know that that's going to happen as well. So did we skip Dakota? I'm sorry, I don't remember.
I want to go back to Ascension Light really quick, then we'll go to Dakota.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because the portrait is a cousin that would put heavy mascara, put baby powder, and it noted the motorcycle, which is interesting because I brought the man in with the motorcycle. So I wonder if I combined them there. But yeah, you'll have to just connect with me later and then just show me a picture of her and see if they match. But Dakota, I want to go to a grandfather in spirit. Would that make sense for you?
Let me see. There's a lot of
yeah, not sure if she grinds her teeth. Hello. Let me ask you a personal question. Do you grind?
I don't know why they're bringing the.
No, I love that kind of stuff because you can't make that up. You just you could say it like, man, I met this person that was grinding their teeth, and then just kind of bring it up subtly.
Yeah, I know. People don't always volunteer that information. So if you know this, I grind my teeth.
Personal problem.
I know, it's like you don't wear that as a badge of honor. So anyway, but yeah, just ask her. She might be telling you. I feel like her jaw's tight and she's been dealing with that. So as I'm saying that, my jaw is tightening. So I know, I'm like, okay, I get it. So they'll make us feel what's happening. I'm like, okay, I definitely get that. That's so I've given the message. Just ask your mom if she's been grinding her teeth. There's some stress she didn't from certain things. So Dakota, did you get? Yes, she did.
Okay. I feel like this man is very intelligent.
Okay.
Let me see here.
Let me see.
And I almost wonder if there's like a family name that was passed on with him, or because Dakota's a unique name, and I feel like Grandpa maybe would have wanted you to be named like something like Edward or something. I'm just throwing that out there. And your parents were unique and gave you your own name. So if that makes any sense for you here, because Grandpa just feels a little traditional here.
Okay. Let me see. I'm just trying to keep up with the notes. So, okay, so Dakota, yes. Okay, and so hi, Black Barbie Goddess. Aren't you supposed to be writing your book or doing? Oh, maybe that's this weekend. I definitely feel your dad's always amazing. Oh my gosh, when he comes forward. Let me see what else here. Let's see. And then is there any messages from, I think I skipped, I'm sorry. Let me go back really quickly and make sure I've got everything here. Okay, so yep, that was to Stephanie. Okay, perfect. And then, so Cassidy, message to my mom from her parents. Her birthday was 3/25. Would you understand that are your parents split up? Is there something I see like that your mom's, I don't know if she's been alone or feeling alone lately, but she's bringing that up as well. Let me see here, and then I'll just keep kind of going through and seeing what else I've got. Let's see. And Ethel Forrest. I don't know, Ethel, if you just joined or if you were on earlier, but I was getting something with an Esther or an Ethel. There's a feminine energy that was coming forward, and I actually feel like it might be connected to you. Sometimes spirit will, it's not necessarily their name that they're calling out. They might be calling out the name of someone else that's coming in. And I heard like the E, that Esther or Ethel. I feel like that's for you. It's a feminine energy on the other side. This would be like a grandmother to you. And she's making me feel like, let me just make sure I'm getting this right here, because she just kind of popped in and said hi. I'm just seeing if she has anything else to say, because she did come in earlier. She was a very strong woman, and she's making me feel like for you, that was my grandmother. Things. Okay, perfect. And so she's mentioning something about you cracking the whip, and I'm not sure what this is. I don't know if there's a male, like I know we're all like stuck in home, and so you might be like having to crack the whip on a male energy, and I don't know if this is a husband, ex-husband, or what this is, but she's bringing this up as well. It feels like there's a male energy that you've been like having to crack the whip on, and she's just like, she's giving you kind of the support around that as well. So, and then let me just see here as well. Okay. It would leave me in a moment. Okay. Okay. Dakota, let me just see if I'm getting anything for you as well, just really quickly.
Yeah, I wonder if Dakota feels different to me. Like Dakota marches to the beat of his own drum. He's a little bit different, one in the family, and I feel like he's sensitive as well.
Yeah, you know what I'm being shown is like kind of like out, like there's something with connecting with nature and kind of going, and I keep showing like playing with the dirt. And I know that sounds really weird and I don't understand this, but it's this feeling of like you being really good with your hands and this feeling of wanting to create some things. I feel like there may have been a point in time where you felt like some of the things that you were doing weren't necessarily like they were wasteful, or they weren't you weren't able to do anything with them. But I feel like Spirit's telling you to tap back into that, because it's not so much the playing in the dirt, it's the creative mindset. You're someone who necessarily can't sit down and meditate. You have to be distracted in it, and Spirit's trying to communicate through you. But they're doing it in a way that you are distracted, and that's a good thing. So like sometimes people, when they clean, they get messages. They're saying for you that you are someone who, it's almost like you have to be touching something or messing around with something in order to get the downloads of the information. And that's coming forward for you. And as I say that, did you go to grandfather as well? Because now I'm getting a grandfather energy that's coming forward. I think you got that.
It's the gentleman I drew. I don't know. We'll have to show him that.
Okay, yeah. So I am getting a stronger male grandfather figure for you. It's like, gosh, I do get like in my picture, because he's a very built man, and I feel like he would have been a builder or something strong. He would have just had that capability in which to create. But he's around you because I feel like there's something about your hands and being able to create things with them. So he's bringing that up as well. So, okay.
Yes, that makes sense. A lot of sense for me. I'm a mechanic, so I use my hands a lot. Awesome. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's why I was seeing the dirt on the hands, because mechanic, yes,
wow.
they totally.
That's
amazing. My father-in-law's a mechanic, and his hands are always black. That makes sense. So that's awesome. I love it how they did that. Okay, perfect. Sweet. Okay, so that's really meditative for you.
That's in my cars would be like tapping in.
Yeah, and I don't know if there is a car or there's one that you're wanting to purchase, but I feel like there's one that you're wanting to rebuild, and he's saying, just do it already, just do it. And so I feel like there would have been a classic car or a motorcycle.
Like a Charger. I think I want an old Charger.
Yeah, there's something where you want to rebuild it, but I feel like you talk yourself out of it because you don't have the time, but he's saying you have the time now. So just know that this is what you do, and he's going to talk to you. I feel like there's something about this male that really works with you and talks with you and helps you, and he's a very smart, and
he's like a guy,
he is, but he's like a thicker man. Like he's just a man's man, like really. And I'm seeing the thick wrists, and whenever I see the thick wrists, that's one of those things where they're just really built. That's their stature, and so he's got very thick wrists.
I love your symbol. I just love it.
I haven't gotten that in a while, but sometimes Spirit will show me how big they are. Your wrist will always say, you know, how you wear, how your bone structure is. So that's what they're showing me. So, okay, so. And Cassidy, let me see. I just want to make sure as well. Oh, so Cassidy too, the mechanic. Okay.
Yeah, they're doubling up over there.
Okay, they are. They know that they're like, okay, it's getting time, so we all want to.
All right. When I go over there, I'm going to go race car driving with them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's funny. So it's funny because I think I jumped around and I wasn't done with you. So I wanted to make sure. Okay. Yeah. So Cassidy, I definitely feel like there's a male energy around you as well. Let me just see here. I want to make sure because I feel like he had something else to say and I don't want to miss it.
Yeah. Was Dad's dad Marshall, or was it the other side of the family is what I'm wondering with Dakota?
Okay.
Oh yeah, I can show you the portrait. I don't know if it's interesting.
There's something
the lighting is a little weird right now.
There's something too about I know your portrait's not going to probably show that, but there's someone that had striking blue eyes too, piercing eyes. I keep getting that as well. Yeah, that's definitely
yeah, I don't know if this is grandpa or not. This guy does feel like a bigger man, like tall, like over 6 foot.
Oh wow.
Curly hair over here, big man. I want to say he has a deep voice too.
Wow. And Cassidy's saying his mother's Ethel and grandmother's Esther. Father Robert. Oh my gosh, that's like all of that's what
the other side. Marshall was my mom's dad. Yeah. Okay, was that Marshall?
Wow.
Okay.
Dad's dad. Okay. Looks similar to Dad's dad. Wow, interesting.
Blue eyes too.
Green eye. Okay, blue. Yeah, or the blue eyes. Okay, because I was getting the blue, like really strong, piercing blue eyes. Okay, perfect. Okay. All right. So I want to make sure. Let me see. And I'm sorry, Linda. I think we skipped you earlier. So I'm just going to see if there's any messages quickly for you as well. This is weird. I'm getting something. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. Are you getting anything else, Amy?
Linda?
Yeah, or just in general. I want to make sure that
with Linda, as I tap in, it's more of an intuitive with her versus spirit. I just feel like, of course, you know, there's a lot of fear going on right now in the world, but I also feel like there's something that you're worrying about, or you're a worrier, if that would make sense for you. I want to say, like, if you practice meditation, or if you can, you know, start a meditative practice, or do something where you can kind of, even if it's in prayer, to kind of release some of that worry because you're holding on to it. I feel like it might be making you feel physically ill, because I want to say that there might be a health issue here. I'm not giving you a health issue, but you've just been not feeling well. And I wonder if it's part of it is just you're a worrier.
Yeah, and as you were talking, they keep showing me this message, but they're not giving me anymore. And sometimes when they do that, it's because that's part of the message in and of itself. And it's really weird. But for you, what they're showing me, it's almost like you're going down to have some tea. And you know, when back in the day where you put the sugar cubes in it, who would have had the sugar cubes? Would you understand this? There would have been someone that like they don't even do those, I don't think, nowadays, but there's like the square sugar cubes. I keep seeing that really clearly. And she's saying she's empathic. Yeah. Would you understand this connected with a female, like a grandmother or something, or a mother, where it would have been like you would have like sat down and like had tea, or she would have always had kind of tea or something? They keep showing me the sugar cubes, and so weird because usually they'll go more into it, but I'm going to keep going.
I just wonder if it's diabetes in the family, or a worry of that.
I know. There's something about the sugar intake as well, the sweetness of life and the sugar intake. It's weird because usually they'll elaborate, but they just keep giving me the sugar cube. And so Dakota gave me a picture of his grandfather that matches Amy's portrait. Wow. Okay, so I think maybe that would be Dakota's.
Oh, that's awesome, Dakota.
Yeah, it's very cool. Sarah always knows. Yeah, so I used to have tea with grandmother. Okay, so perfect. Okay, because I do feel like it's really very specific. Whenever they won't go off of that and tell me more, it's because there's symbolism to the sugar cubes. So a couple things now that you've acknowledged that, I do feel like there would be a grandmother energy, and it's this feeling of wanting someone to talk to, and this feeling of like wanting to have a heart-to-heart conversation. But they're also showing me this feeling, and as I'm saying that, she's coming in closer, and I'm getting really chills around this right now. She's making me feel like this feeling of really needing, having someone to connect with, and doing it in a way that it's not just a good listener. Like it's that feeling of I want someone who will just listen to me and hear what I have to say. I just feel like there's certain things that okay, grandmother had diabetes. Okay, would you understand this? I don't know if that makes sense for you, but it's almost like your grandmother, like it's like she's offering. It's hard because she's not in the physical, right? The feeling of not being able to kind of sit next to her and talk to her. But I feel like this thing where you can kind of communicate with her and have that heart to heart, like she listens to you. And but she is making me feel like it would be important for you to just I feel like I want to say you need to find someone who you can have a communication with and just have a sit down and have. I know it's hard right now with current climate, but just taking the time to just kind of have a moment and speak with someone. And
I feel like grandmother was a good listener. Would that make sense?
Yeah, I feel like that definitely is part of it as well.
I feel like grandmother was highly intuitive too. I almost want to say that she could read people really well. I almost want to say that I don't know if she read tea leaves, but that with the sugar and the tea, it's like this. Grandma is very much involved in your life.
Yeah,
very interested in with the path that you're on.
Yeah, she's definitely around. So I don't know if that made sense, but I feel like I was belaboring it a little bit. Like I'm not really getting to the words, but I feel like part of the message of itself. So just know that. Bye, Carolyn.
Bye, Carolyn. Love you.
Thanks for joining. Okay, so yeah, she comes to you all the time. Okay, perfect. Okay, so good. I'm glad. So she's definitely around you. She sees what's going on. And she's just giving you a lot of love and support, and just know that I hear tapping on a window. So I don't know if you hear like on the outside tapping on a window, not that she's literally tapping, but I'm hearing tapping on a window. So just know that she's around and she's giving you signals as to her being around. So yeah.
Old folks home in Washington and so scared. Oh, of course. And then of course, if they're in the old folks home and they have a bit of dementia, if it even is a little bit, they don't quite understand what's going on. So what you can do is imagine yourself sending her light and love that's on the path of her room, in the hallway, at the nurse's station, outside the building. And then that's some of that worry you can release because you can channel it into energy in your mind that you can actually like send to her. Imagine angels walking the path with her and the staff and in her room, and that may help.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting. That's it sounds like a couple people connected with the sugar cubes reference, and again, spirit never wastes that opportunity, and that's why they came very specific with that. So perfect. Well, do you want to bring out your amazing, beautiful, not yet for sale cards that I can't wait till they go and you can, oh my gosh.
I have to tell you, if anything, that's like everything on my path has not been smooth, this whole thing. So it's just I learned by the school of hard knocks. So I have to go with it. Some of them the colors didn't come out right. And some of them were printed off center a little bit. So I don't know if it was me or it was them or it was both, but so they're not quite ready for prime time yet.
Yeah.
But as I developed on this journey, I have been making oracle cards and like Heather has her own deck too, and I have your deck there too. And yours is all the symbols, or mine are more about color. So it's fascinating how we work. And the deck was primarily for myself, and I would share it on Facebook or Instagram, and people were asking me for it. So it will come out. It's not quite done.
You have a long line of people that want it, including me.
I know. And I'm such an ADD. I've got like 3 decks going on. And he's like, I can't. I've got this one. I've got that one. I love making them. So like here it is. It's called Painting the Way, and it's like me painting the way on this path. And Spirit teaching me how to draw and how to read. And it's right before we got on. Heather and I were talking, and I was shuffling my cards. She was shuffling hers, and a card flew out of the deck, which is always, it flies out for a reason. And the card that I picked here's a little cactus, and it's titled Resilience. So this is kind of fitting for the current situation that we're in right now, that we need to be resilient. And if you think about a cactus, that they have their reserves, they store their water, right? And they live in the desert. So, and they survive and they bloom.
I was just going to say, if you can't have plants, you can have one of those.
If you kill a cactus, then
Yeah, then
yeah. Who knows? But to me, it's very fitting for the times we're in right now. So I want to share that with you all.
For sure. That's beautiful. Thank you. And it's funny because I just kind of let a card fly out. And last time I did the March readings, sometimes they'll fly out and I picked them up, but then there was one sitting under my chair that I didn't realize, and it just popped out again. It's shine. And so this is kind of what we were talking about before. Whatever you do, just shine at it, just like my forehead right now. I'm like, whoa, maybe I'm noticing. I'm like, okay.
Glowing spirit.
I'm glowing. I'm so happy.
We work up a little bit of perspiration doing this because we're using a lot of energy.
Yeah, we are, definitely. And so I'm going to pull another card, just collective message for everyone. Just whatever's kind of coming up. Spirit, what do you need? What do you want to communicate?
Thank you, Erica. Thank you, everyone.
Perfect. Okay, cords. Okay. So the thing that I get with this card specifically right now, and this is what we kind of mentioned to a few people that were on, this is really the time to go through and kind of cut those cords, those energy attachments, things that no longer serve you, get rid of them. Whenever I am doing a reading for someone and I feel like I can get a cord and I'll physically feel a pain in my hand. So you guys can pay attention to this as well. You might, as I'm saying, if you feel a pain in your hand, then this is a message for you as well. Left hand is usually, it's connected to a relationship. There's something relationship based. Right hand is more of like the financial things, certain kind. I don't get that as much. It's funny because it's usually relationship based. It could be with a significant other. It could be with a parent. I think there was a couple that had some things with fathers, but Spirit's saying now's the time to work through those cords because you're really in a space where you have to kind of go in and do the work. And so this is all the stuff we were talking about at the beginning. So definitely, they're telling me to pull one more. Do you want to pull another card? I just want to see. I don't know if you're guided to. If you're guided to.
The color came out funky, so but it's Mother, and this is Mother Mary with baby Jesus. So she's the Earth's mother, and she's looking after us. So it never hurts to invoke a few Hail Marys, even if you're not Catholic, but. She's to listen, and she's she would step on a serpent with her bare feet, so she's looking out after us.
Absolutely. And this one just goes good with that. Expecting, and it's funny because I was like, okay, well, what does that mean? And then they're like, we'll read this. So you can't see it, but in the watch it says better times, and so so it's definitely so hang in there. Better times are on the way. They're coming, and they just know that as well. So I think we all know that, but I think it's just good to have that in a reminder. So I do want to pull one of their Sacred Destiny oracle cards because these cards are so amazing. This is the one we did with Kim. You remember when we had the class with Kim? She did the cards. I got like, oh my God. something, and it just spoke.
I guess I must have glazed over that one, but oh gosh.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pull. I'm gonna make sure to shuffle these right, because I've had some. I want to make sure to. I'm not a professional shuffler by any means, but
I can't shuffle like that. You're doing good.
I
would not make it in Las Vegas. They'd be like, "They're fired, Amy."
Yeah. All right. Let me clear the energies. Okay. So I'm just gonna ask Spirit. What's just a general net? Ooh, I'm getting my heart's warming right now, you guys. Oh, whenever I get it, it's like the Holy Spirit. It's like a deep. Okay. Okay, so I'm just asking I'm getting a lot of purity, purification. Ooh, getting that really strong right now. It's almost like I'm seeing the winter white and the purification around that. So that's coming in really strong here. So, okay, so relaxation. All right, well, there you go. This is interesting too, because this is all about, I feel like I need to tell a story beyond what the card will say, but I feel like there's a connection here. So this is one of those things where, and this is what we were talking about earlier, if you could see there's the moon right there and the shadow, right? The shadow figure, which is, and taking that time, reading a book. I mean, everyone right now, like go, like, stay in, read the books, reflect. But this is so symbolic, because it has to do what we were talking about here, these cards, because this is kind of, you see she's kind of sitting here, this person's in the shadow, right? And it's dealing with these shadow aspects of ourselves that, but it's doing it in a way that we're sort of forced to, but in a gentle way, right? Spirit always wants to help heal us on anything that we need to bring forward. But sometimes, and Spirit was telling me this earlier today, we get so busy. We could find so many distractions everywhere you go. Oh, I got to do this. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like, it's one of those things where if I don't go to the gym or if I don't go to yoga, I feel bad about that. And I feel bad for feeling bad. And so this is cutting all that out right now. This is saying, just take the time to relax, but also be gentle on yourself. Do it in a way that you get to kind of go back and reflect through this kind of the chapters of your life, if you will, and do it in a way that's, it's sort of like it's like the timing, the gestation period, right? Do it in a way that is like, it's in time. So, right, it goes back to that time. So just be gentle with yourself right now, because it feels like there's a lot of that.
Don't feel guilty if you don't get to the book or don't get to clean the closet because you are at home. It's because it's tough right now to focus, and now there's expectations on social media, like, oh, I did this and I did that and I cleaned this, I cleaned that. I'm like, you may not feel like doing any of that. You may just feel like laying on the couch for a few hours and do it.
Right.
I pulled one more. Oh. It's so amazing how Spirit shows up. This one is community, which is a group of aspen trees. And we're all in this together. This isn't something that's just happening on the other side of the world right now. It is, every one of us is experiencing it. So we're not alone. So we just have to like send love to each other and support one another, and we're going to get through it. But there's a reason why it's happening to all of us.
Oh yeah. Who would have thought, it's fascinating. But well, gosh, I'm getting chills. I love it. I know I always have to announce that, but it's just because it comes in so strong, and it's like this feeling of like, yes, I mean, it's just my whole head is on fire right now.
I hope we sleep tonight.
It's beautiful. Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, I know. I'm so excited. It was so nice to have you on, Amy. You're going to have to come back, do more drawings and stuff. Like
I'm so happy to be here. It's been so much fun. And it's so fun to watch you read, because you're so fast. And I have to say that I was working with a medium a couple of years ago that, very famous British medium. And I was told that I was too slow. So I just love watching how fast you are, but you know what? This serves me because I have to draw slow. So it's just and how it's okay for me to be slow,
Right. No, everyone, and that's the thing. I sometimes, that it's funny because I've been told I was too fast and I need to slow down. And so sometimes Spirit will, like, especially depending on who I'm reading for, slow down, because
that's why I enjoy working with you, is because it's just that balance there, we're just,
it really is. You're absolutely right. Yeah. And it's interesting too, because sometimes when I go fast, I miss certain things, but the subtlety, energy of you the way you communicate the spirit. I mean, you have to capture everything. If I was doing what you were doing, I'd draw a circle for a face, and that would be it.
All right.
They have a face. Does anyone recognize this?
Oh, I've had some of those.
I can't.
What?
I can take it. Good. Okay, so it's for you.
It's like the Rorschach.
That's what I would do. There's a neck as well. Yes. Okay, that makes sense. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. So I'm glad that you were the artist, because I'm definitely. Oh my gosh, you're amazing.
I love the technology, because I couldn't have done this, and it's amazing. And I do want to come back, because we've had the most amazing people here too with us telling us stories. Somebody mentioned number 33, so like yes, the angel numbers.
Yeah. Oh, 33. Yeah, definitely. That's my number there. I love that. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining. It was so nice to have you on. I apologize if we didn't get to everyone. I will be doing, it's kind of a pay it forward reading, whoever on my Instagram, if you're following there, you've liked it, and then tag someone, as well as Facebook, and then here as well. I'm just going to kind of capture all the names and do a randomization of that, and just I'll pick. This will be an ongoing thing, especially like, again, this is, Amy and I were talking about like, how can we kind of show up for people, and this is the best that we can do, like whatever that is, and so and so for me, I'm not doing any more paid readings. I've kind of shut down that aspect, and I just want to do readings of service. And so if you have someone, it's really about you getting a gift, but it getting paid forward as well. So I will be choosing or kind of randomizing the section, and Spirit is really going to be making sure that happens. And so on Monday, so pay attention. Check out my Instagram, Facebook. I'll announce who that winner is. And so we'll just continue to do fun things. I'm going to probably be giving away my cards as well. And so and Amy, you're gonna have to come back. You're open-ended, so
and I'll give away something too. We'll just figure it out. I'll probably we'll pick a winner, and then between the winner and I will decide what you want, whether it's like a guide portrait or an animal, or we'll do something fun. We'll just figure it out together.
My God, that would be amazing. Yeah, anyone. Wow. All right, well, so thanks everyone. I hope you have an amazing night. We'll be back again, and just take care of yourself, stay home, have fun, reflect, and enjoy. All right, thanks everyone.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.